The stars shimmered across the dome of the celestial embassy as ambassador. Sarai Velaris of the Orthy Concord stepped out of her diplomatic shuttle. Beside her walked her daughter, Lumia, 19 years old, sharp-eyed, nervous, and holding her hands tightly behind her long silver cloak. For centuries the Concord and humans had struggled to understand each other. Orthy culture was formal, ritualistic, and emotionally restrained. Humans were everything but. And yet, the ambassador had traveled 23 light years for a purpose that made even her diplomatic poise tremble. She was taking her daughter on a blind date. With a human, Lumia's voice trembled. "Mother, are you certain? What if he is loud?" Humans shout when they breathe. Sarai gave a rare, amused exhale. "Not all of them. And this one comes highly recommended by the Alliance." But Lumia wasn't wrong. Humans were intense, emotional, volatile, deadly if provoked, and powerful if trusted. The young man waiting inside the dome was named Evan Caro, a linguistics specialist for the Terran Frontier Corps, 26, calm, intelligent, and, according to the compatibility AI, an 87.4% match for Lumia. Sarai hoped the AI was right. Her daughter needed someone who could handle her quiet brilliance and her secret fear, the creeping genetic disorder slowly draining her. Telepathic strength, the Orthy had no cure, but humans. Humans were unpredictable. Humans broke rules. Humans achieved the impossible. Sarai pinned her last hope on that. Evan held his breath as the alien pair approached. Orthy women were graceful, crystalline-skinned, ethereal like moonlight made flesh. Lumia looked like she might shatter from a strong breeze. Her silver hair shimmered like water under starlight, and her pale blue eyes flicked toward him, then away instantly. Evan stepped forward, carefully keeping his voice low. "Hi, I'm Evan. It's an honor to—" Lumia flinched. Sarai cleared her throat. "Humans do not whisper naturally." "He is trying." Lumia nodded stiffly. "Appreciated." Evan smiled gently. "If anything makes you uncomfortable, tell me. I'll adjust." That earned the first real glance from her. Brief but curious, they walked into the garden chamber, where bioluminescent vines glowed soft blues and purples. A translator orb hovered overhead, but Evan preferred raw communication. He studied Orthy cadence for years. He could at least try. "You like astronomy?" he asked in carefully measured vowels. Eliom paused, surprised. "You learned our formal dialect." Evan shrugged. "Thought it might make tonight easier?" Lumia's cheeks glimmered faintly. Orthy blushing. Progress.Sera watched from afar, and something unexpected tugged inside her chest. She had come prepared to intervene, prepared to guide Lumia through the discomfort of human unpredictability. Instead, she watched her daughter relax, slightly, but undeniably. As Evan laughed softly at one of her hesitant comments, he wasn't loud. He wasn't overwhelming. He was patient, the rarest human trait in Orthy. Eyes. Sarai had been wrong. Humans weren't dangerous because they were unpredictable. They were dangerous because they cared too easily, too deeply, too sincerely, and that made them capable of miracles. Then ground vibrated. Soft at first, then violently. A shimmering crack split the air, a temporal fault line. The research station nearby had been testing prototype warp-fold drives. Unstable at best, a gravitational shockwave tore through the chamber. Lumia staggered. "Mother!" Sarai moved fast, her diplomatic shield flickering around her daughter. But the shockwave shredded the barrier like paper. Evan didn't hesitate. He grabbed Lumia, pulling her against his chest as debris and raw energy spiraled around them. He wasn't a soldier, wasn't enhanced, wasn't armored. He was just human. And yet he shielded her with his own body. "Stay behind me," he shouted, voice cracking under the roar. Lumia froze, telepathic senses rupturing from the distortion. This was the disorder's cruelty. Under stress, her mind would collapse. Her limbs went weak. Sarai's heart clenched. "Lumia, stay awake." Evan wrapped his arms tighter. "I've got you. I promise I won't let go." A blast of raw warp light hit them, but instead of crushing them, it refracted around Evan's body like water around a stone. Sarai stared in shock. "No." Human could do that, unless she darted forward, scanning him with diplomatic sensors. His neural lattice resonated with Orthy telepathic frequency, perfectly, naturally. The compatibility. AI had not been optimistic enough. This wasn't 87.4%. This was unprecedented. Human and Orthy minds weren't supposed to interlink, but Evans was syncing with Lumia, instinctively stabilizing her collapsing psychic field with nothing but raw human will. He wasn't shielding her with strength. He was shielding her with connection. HFY. When the shockwave finally dissipated, Lumia collapsed into his arms. Her breathing steadied. Not from medicine, not from Orthy healing, from him. Sarai approached slowly, staring at the young human who held her daughter as if she were the most fragile treasure in the universe. Evan looked up nervously. Is she okay? Sarai knelt beside them. You stabilized her mind. No human has ever. He shook his head. I didn't do anything special. I care. That's it. Sarai inhaled sharply. That was the miracle. Not power. Not telepathy. Not alien science. Human emotion. Stubborn, reckless, impossible emotion had done what entire alien medical academies could not. Lumia blinked awake, eyes flickering between the two. I felt you, she whispered to Evan. You reached for me. Evan flushed. Yeah, sorry if that was. Do it again. Her voice trembled but firm. He touched her hand. The psychic field resonated instantly. Gentle and warm, Lumia's eyes widened, glowing faintly. Healing, real healing. Sarai staggered back a step. Overwhelmed, the impossible was happening in front of her. Her daughter might live because of a human she had met 27 minutes ago. Ambassador Sarai made her decision. The unbelievable one. She placed her hand on Evan's shoulder. Voice low and formal. Evan Caro of Earth, she declared. By Orthy diplomatic authority I request, no. I beg that you remain with my daughter. Not as a date. As her anchor, her bond. Evan swallowed. Ambassador, I just met her. I know, Sarai whispered. But you saved her life. And you might save her future. Lumia stared at him, vulnerable and hopeful. Evan exhaled, steady. If she wants me to stay, I'll stay. Lumia nodded silently. And Sarai, cold, composed, veteran diplomat of 40 star systems, did something she had never done before. Something unthinkable for an Orthy leader. She bowed deeply to a human. Thank you, she said, for proving, once again, why humanity changes every world it touches. HFY.